Hi, everyone. Now we're going to get into the final part of activity-based budgeting, which is figuring out the direct labor costs, what it will cost in labor to produce the products that which we estimated in the sales budget. So direct labor costs budget is based on the sales budget and the production budget, and it determines the cost to produce the units required to meet the sales. And in order to meet those sales, we determined the number of products that are required when we put together the production budget. And again, as with any other budget, assumptions are going to be made on the number of hours it will take to produce a unit and the cost per hour that we pay to employees. And again, these assumptions typically are based on historical data. So for the direct labor costs, these are our assumptions that it is going to take us 5 hours to produce a unit of whatever it is that we are selling, and our cost of labor is $10 per hour. So to begin with the direct labor budget, now we need to go back to our production budget and say, okay, how many units do we need to produce? So if you recall these numbers, these are taken from the production budget that we worked on earlier, right? And this took into consideration the beginning inventory and the ending inventory. Now the direct labor hours required to produce 1 hour, to produce 1 unit, we have already made the assumption that it's going to take 5 hours of manpower to produce 1 unit. So we take the production units that we need to produce and we multiply that by the 5 hours that it will take. So these are the total hours that it's going to take us to produce these units. 980, 1820, 1920, and it's important that we produce those number of units because that is tied to the sales budget that was figured out in the first video. So now that we have the number of hours that we will need, 4,900, 9,100, 9,600, and 6,900 in each respective quarter, we know that our cost of labor, which we made an assumption, is $10 per hour. So we're going to take the number of hours and we're going to multiply that by the cost of labor per hour. And it will tell us the total number of hours that we will need to produce the number of sales that were required to be sold from the sales budget. So in summary, here's what we've learned, that the direct labor budget, just like the material budget, it is derived from the sales and production budgets. We've made estimates on the number of hours it will take to produce 1 unit, 1 product. And the estimates for the cost of labor are based on the number of hours required, and we've made an assumption on the number of hours, and that can vary depending on the type of product that you make. And the assumption on hourly costs is also an estimate, and again, that could be based on historical information.